All right, guys, so here is video 2 of the college after graduation continuing education, whatchamacallit, presentation, whatever. Okay, so here we go. When we left off, we were talking about online education, how it's really difficult, but there are options out there. So it might be a less expensive option for you if you're interested in a bachelor's or master's degree. Master's degree, here we go. So Ms. Boldice and I both have our master's degrees. Mine is in teaching English to speakers of other languages, and hers is in educational technology, I think, but she will correct me if I'm wrong. Master's degrees take 2 to 3 years about, and they come after a bachelor's degree. So you need a bachelor's degree first, then you can get a master's degree. So again, only 2 to 3 years, and you apply to graduate school after finishing your bachelor's degree. They're going to want your GPA, your transcripts, all of that. Some schools for your master's degree ask that you take it's kind of like a standardized test. I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but it's very similar to like what the SAT is. Oh my goodness, I can't think of the name. I will let you guys know if you are curious. Send me an email and I will try to remember what the name is. I never had to take it, so that's why I can't think of it. But a lot of different universities offer master's degree. They're online platforms. Like I did mine totally online. Some are like half online, half in class. Miss Meisty, if you guys have her for math, that's what she did. She just finished her master's that way. And some you can go in person. So if you'd like to keep doing in-person classes, you can do that with your master's degree. Some careers kind of encourage you to pursue masters. Teachers pretty much need their masters in order for us to get our next certification. Our certification expires every few years. We always have to get a couple like credits or different professional development, different number of hours. So getting a master's degree was kind of an easy option for me to keep my certificate. But then there are also some careers that are really difficult to get a job if you don't have a master's degree. So social work is one that comes to mind, where without a master's degree, it's very difficult to find a good job. Counseling can be very similar as well. So worth looking into kind of the requirements for your like dream job. It might require a master's. And then for those of you that are really ambitious out there, you could also get a doctorate degree. So you could get a doctorate degree by going to med school or dental school. You can become a doctor that way. Chiropractic, any of those kind of degrees. Lawyers, if you want to be like a college professor, you could get a doctorate in like English, in literature. And I've always kind of been tempted to do that because then I can be a doctor just like my sister. But these take extra years beyond a bachelor's. You don't necessarily need a master's to then get into med school or whatever. But again, the number of years that your degree will take depends on what career you are pursuing. If you're going for a doctorate in like literature or in political science, that would only take like a few years. Depends on what course of study you're interested in. So that's worth some extra research if you are interested. So now those are just kind of the options, right? From trade school up through a doctorate degree. A lot of different options you can explore, a lot of things you can look into. So this is the process, and this process is going to be very similar for all of us. So here's kind of the steps that we're going to take. Right now, what you should do, since you're at home, hopefully you have a lot of time. I know not all of us do. Some of us are really busy. Research would be a good thing to do. Looking into different schools, looking into different programs, and figuring out, if you're going to try to get a bachelor's degree, what kind of credit hours do you need? How long will it take? How much is it going to cost each year? How are you planning to pay for it? Do you want to live on campus? Do you want to commute? All of those questions, those are the things that you can start looking into. I would say try to find a couple different programs that would help you achieve your goals. Like if you're set on just one school, that can be kind of tricky if like you don't end up getting accepted or something. If you are interested in an associate's or a bachelor's degree, it's a good idea to think of 2 schools that you're pretty sure you're going to be able to get in, 2 safe schools that you're like, oh yeah, I'll get into that. and then 2 that you'd really like to go to, but you're not really sure you'll get in, and then 1 dream school. So I kind of did not do it that way when I went through in high school. I think I applied for 3 I was pretty sure I'd get into, and 3 that were my dream school. So the 3 that were my dream school was like Boston University, Georgetown, and Harvard. None of them accepted me. So I was like, well, there we go. Worth looking into, thinking about kind of what's that dream school, but doing some research. Once you've found a couple, especially if they're a little more local, try to schedule some visits. Visits would be really great during actual school time. So next fall, if you could like get schedule a visit or a tour for Grand Valley or Hope, then you get to see the campus in action. So you get to see students walking to classes, you get to see clubs doing things, you get a better feel for what college will be like at that school. So that'd be when we'd recommend the visit, but like if you visit during the summer, you can still get a lot of information and get a good feel of the campus. So researching and going on visits would be a really good idea kind of from now until like next fall, so that you get an idea of schools before you try to make your decision. So when you schedule those tours, very easy to schedule them. I think it was, very easy to schedule. Search up the school, and go to the like admissions page. There's always an admissions page. Find their office of admissions and just give them a call and say, hey, I am a high school junior and I'm interested in this school. Can I schedule a visit? And they'd be like, woohoo, yes, when would you like to come? So very easy to schedule a visit. Let us know if you need help there. Before going on that tour, try to think about what you're looking for in a college experience. Do you want to be involved in a bunch of clubs? Are you interested in Greek life? Do you want to play a sport? Do you want to do just like a club sport? Are you interested in study abroad? Do you want to be able to work and do classes? Do you want to commute? Do you want to live there? Think about what kind of experience you want, and then you can ask the tour guide those questions as you're kind of exploring the school. And pay very close attention to the feeling you have during the tour. Those feelings can really help. They can tell you a lot about whether you'd be comfortable at the school or not. So definitely worth looking into there. We'll keep going here, checking the time. Resume writing. So you are going to want a resume before your application, before you fill out college applications. Hopefully you're working on that now. I sent you the 2 videos and kind of the directions for how to write a resume. It used to be a class assignment. It isn't anymore because of coronavirus. So a resume is great for trying to find jobs, but it also is a great thing to attach to your college application because it is a 1-page summary of you and what you've done and like all of your accomplishments. So definitely worthwhile to have that resume before next fall. So if you haven't started writing one, if you need help, like I'd love to help you. I'm pretty good at editing resumes because I've been doing it for a while. So having a resume would be important. So that gets us to the fall, right? So we're going to work on a resume. We'll do some research. We'll look into schools. We'll maybe go on a couple of visits. By the fall, October 1st is an important date that you should mark on your calendars now. Put it into your Google Calendar, whatever you need to. October 1st is 2 things. One is college applications open, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But another one is FAFSA, so Free Application for Federal Student Aid. This application opens on October 1st. This is the link to get started on it. So on October 1st, that's when you're going to fill it out. Can't do it early. You'll go to this link. This is the website. You can also find it by just Googling FAFSA. It'll be like the first thing that pops up. And what it is an application that's free, so you don't have to pay for it. You're going to put in a ton of information about yourself. You are going to need your parents to help because they're going to ask for financial information from your parents. So they're going to be asking for finances. Your parents will know that information. The counseling office next fall will probably have information about a FAFSA night where they can like answer questions and help as you guys are filling it out, which can be great. It is kind of a confusing form. It can be kind of difficult. So you'll need a parent with you. Pay attention for a meeting. October 1st is when you can start applying. The earlier you apply, the more likely you'll be eligible for aid. As you kind of wait, they start to run out of money. I've never really heard of anyone that had issues with that, but it's just what I've always been told. You want to apply early. Also, if you get it filled out October 1st, then you don't have to worry about it. It's already done, which is great. If you're really stuck, if you call up the financial aid office of any school, especially if it's a school you're interested in, they'd probably be happy to help you with the form. I've had a couple people from GRCC help my students in the past, just walk through it because they're more familiar with the form. So if you're really stuck, call up a college financial aid office. They can help you out. What ends up happening with that application is once you send it in, it will tell you if you're eligible for federal money that is free. So free money that you don't need to pay back, free money, that's what we want. Or it'll tell you what low interest student loans are available, which is not ideal. Like student loans are like the last thing that we want to use, but if we're looking for money, this is a good first step. So this might give you might show that you're eligible for some free money. It also might not, but it's worth trying, right? After that, tip money is something that not everyone is eligible for, but some people might. And so just in case, I want to make sure you guys know that it's there. It's the tuition incentive program. This is the link right here. The application needs to be completed by August 31st if you're planning to attend school in the fall. And it is free money for anyone who's eligible. To be eligible, your family has to have been on Medicaid for 24 months, so 2 full years between when you were 9 and now. So it's kind of a weird requirement, but you need that, and then you need to be a Michigan resident, and you need to be a U.S. citizen, and be going to an undergraduate degree of some sort. So that's kind of the requirement, the eligibility. If you're interested, if you think it might apply to you, go here. It would be free money. So free money for anyone who's eligible. Not everyone is eligible, but that is an option. All right, so your goal is to get as much free money as possible. Loans are fine, but that's kind of going to be like the last resort because then you have to pay them back after graduation, and the like federal student loan like amount is ridiculously high right now. Like there are so many people trying to pay back student loans. So start with FAFSA, then try to find scholarships. And if that doesn't work, then you can cover it with your loans. Let me check my time again. Okay, I got 3 minutes and then I gotta pause this. Okay. So SAT, you guys did not take it this spring. Some of you may have already taken it, which is great. So you have a score that you can kind of take a look at. And if you have not taken the SAT yet, you will take it in the fall. So you'll take it at school. We'll have it all set up. I don't have any more information on that yet. But some colleges have requirements for what SAT score they will accept. So you got to make sure that you have a high enough SAT to get into certain schools. A lot of schools also will say this is the like average score, this is what we're looking for. And if you're a little below that, they might still take you into account. They're going to look at your GPA. They're going to look at the sports and the volunteering and all the other things you do as well. They want to see you as a whole person. This just helps them out. So what you're going to do next fall when you take the SAT, before doing it, there's going to be a lot of bubbling that you have to do. And in that bubbling, it's going to ask you which colleges you want to send your scores to. So if you have done what I've kind of suggested, and you've done some research and you've got like 3 or 4 schools you're interested in, then you can look up their codes and you can send the scores to them, which is great, and then you don't have to worry about it. If you have trouble, like you decide, oh, I'm more interested in Grand Valley and I wasn't, and I haven't sent the scores there, you can still get your scores sent. You just go to the College Board website. You can send it to any school that you need to. Schools like GRCC, they do not have an SAT score requirement. But if your score in English or in math is like a little bit low, they might have you do a placement test where they'll have you go to their campus, they'll have you take a test, and if you score too low on that, they might put you in a course that is below their 101 course, so like a remedial English 99 course, and you'd have to take that before you can take their 101. So that'd be kind of their requirement, but you can always retake the SAT if you're interested. What else? Oh, the ACT is a very similar test to the SAT. It's just got different sections, and you end up with a score out of 36 instead of out of 1600. It's just a different standardized test. I think that the ACT has questions worded in a little more straightforward way than the SAT. So if you'd rather give that one a try, you totally can. Either, though, schools will take either. The work keys, Next fall, when you take the SAT, you will take the SAT on one day, and then the next day you'll come in, you'll take the ACT work keys. And those questions are a little more straightforward. So they're going to be questions to see, like, can you follow directions? Are you prepared to be in the workplace? They will want trade